Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo, along with Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio. General, on Wednesday, a bipartisan report by the Senate Intelligence Committee blames the State Department for failing to increase security at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya back in 2012, and we know 15 people were killed, 4 Americans. The report comes out today. This all despite warnings by the CIA and staff that there were dangers in that attack. We now know it wasn't a conspiracy theory.
That's correct. But if you look at the ingredients in that report, you'll find that there's a commonality going all the way back to Pearl Harbor and all the way through 9/11 and obviously Benghazi. Information and intelligence was not shared between agencies. And number two, which seems to be more prevalent, was no action was taken based upon available intelligence. Both those ingredients seem to be interweaving each other all the way through our history, and we seem to not learn.
All right, we'll take the second part in just a moment. The first part, how come information is not shared, especially if the CIA is giving you the information?
It's somewhat of an ingrained, not my territory, doesn't belong to you, therefore I'm not going to share it. And if there's anything to be shared, I'll make that decision. That seems to be the mindset, unfortunately. So when you don't share information, in today's day and age, with the kind of technology we have, it's extremely important that you do it because of the timing of it and the immediacy of being able to act on it. So when you hold it back and you don't share it, you lose the opportunity to be able to act on it in a timely way.
All right, so the CIA has this information, they're hanging on to it. Does it get to the President or the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State? Hey, look, this is what we have.
Well, I would suggest that it should have, but in all accounts to date, they're suggesting it didn't. And if it did, it was either cleansed or perhaps culled out before it made its way to either the President or, in this particular case, the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. We don't know that, and I don't think we'll know that until we continue to vet it over the next several investigations, ongoing investigations, and this is just another little bit in that investigatory process to be able to get to the end as to exactly what happened. But unfortunately, the more time that goes by, the more cloudy it gets.
All right, so failure to take action, that's what was going on here. What happens, or what would have happened, I guess, we can do Monday Morning Quarterback, if that information was shared?
Well, I do believe that they had forces in place that could have reacted to be able to give perimeter security to that Benghazi embassy, and at least extracted them to a better or safer place. Not having done that left them at the will of those that took their lives eventually. So I think, once again, they didn't act because either, and there's some concern out there that there were assets in place and they were told to stand down. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But nevertheless, had they acted in a timely way, they would have been able to give them additional perimeter defense or to extract them to a safer place.
So it's a State Department issue here and not a military issue.
Absolutely. I don't look at the military as being blamed for this whatsoever. It has much to do with a political application for policy at that time between the State Department and the Office of the President.
Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State at the time. Where does she stand at this point?
Unfortunately, there's a short fuse on the remembrance of the American people from time to time. And I do think that because of the elections being 2 years from now, this will perhaps be forgotten unless there's more information that becomes available and it keeps it on the front burner. As far as she's concerned, I think she's going to have a hard row to be able to get through either a campaign, a primary if there is one, or the general election 2 years from now.
Well, if we learn anything in history, maybe down the road they'll start sharing more information.
I certainly hope so. In today's age, that's extremely important.
All right, real quick, General. In Iraq, insurgents continue to retake territories once held by government forces. This we're going to see a lot in Afghanistan, too?
Absolutely. When we look at the Iraq and you look at the peninsula and you look at specifically Fallujah, that was a major battle, and unfortunately we had some local ties to that. The Rhode Island National Guard lost some soldiers in that battle. And when you look at that and you say, okay, how did they get back to the insurgents? I believe that the security forces were not able to retain that, as is obvious by their losing it. And I think you'll see the same thing happen in Afghanistan because you lost the central government and it'll go back to the tribal rule.
All right, General Centracchio, as always, thank you for your thoughts and thank you for watching.